Hey dreamer, hey survivor, welcome back to my channel. It's Michelle of Surviving Narcissistic Deception and owner of adreamlife.com. And today I'm going to discuss with you the importance of going no contact. A lot of times people think that they could kind of skate on the edge and have like a little bit or less of a relationship with the narcissist. But a lot of times what we don't realize, and what I've realized from my own experience, is that the way that they operate is so toxic and so hurtful and so damaging that at any time you can be kind of like knocked back into a dark place with the narcissist. So it's particularly important to go complete no contact. And let's get into this discussion of what you can do and why. Narcissistic people want to stay in your life. And this is what makes them relationships with them so mind-boggling, because you'll be in a relationship with the narcissist and you'll know, and you'll have the good sense deep down in your heart and your intuition to know that this person is either not right for you, or that this person is doing everything in his or her power to destroy the relationship or to break the relationship down. Even though 9 times out of 10 narcissistic people say things that don't line up with their actions, they will still try to stay in a relationship. And the average person does feel in their heart and know that something is up, but because they can't land that, most of us need some type of consistency or clarity to help us make a decision. And what narcissistic people are really, really good at is keeping other people confused. They do that by saying things that don't line up with their actions. This is one of the main manipulative tactics that they use that create the fog and the confusion in the empath and the empathetic person. Because remember, empathetic people are usually moving forward, or at least they're trying to move forward. If they run into a problem in a relationship, they likely want to discuss the problem and also determine fair solutions between the person or the group in order to move to the next step. But the problem with narcissists is they will look you in your face and sort of pretend that they also want to make these changes, and they will make promises to you and tell you that they're going to make those changes, and they'll even pretend to understand and acknowledge the turmoil and the stress and the disorder and the anxiety, that you may be going through in your life, right? And so they give you kind of like this fake empathy. And then what happens is they pull you deeper and deeper and deeper into this fear of the narcissistic relationship, which makes it more difficult to get out. And this is how these toxic relationships become so addictive, because you really, number one, have to think of a narcissistic relationship as an addiction. Sure, the narcissist is addicted to whoever they objectify or target because they need narcissistic supply. They're empty. But what happens during the course of a relationship with a narcissist is the unsuspecting target or empathetic person is also becoming addicted. Because what happens is the narcissistic people go above and beyond to give the illusion of loyalty, to give the illusion of compatibility, like they want the same things as you. But at the same time, everything that they say is not matching up with their actions, which creates a deep, deep confusion, desperation inside of the empath. And from my own experience, I know how truly long that a narcissist can play this game and rob an innocent person, an unsuspecting person, an empathetic person out of their time and energy, and create so much confusion. And what's dangerous about this is that the longer you stay around these people, since they're masters of manipulator, masters of manipulation, the longer you will be in that situation and the weaker you become. This is what happens. The boundaries are constantly being broken down with the narcissist. And this is why narcissists do that, because they know that the more that they can break down your boundaries, the more that they can trick you and have you believing that they're going to change or do something different. That means that they're going to get more of your investment of energy in them. And the more you invest your energy into something that is not giving you a fair return, the more committed you become. You go deeper and deeper and deeper into these situations with these narcissistic people or narcissistic organizations, whatever it is. It could be a parent-child relationship. It could be a relationship with a narcissistic partner or anyone, relative. And what happens is, because the average empath has these ideals that they've been trained to believe in, these social ideals, believing that all people can change, all people can do better, be a ride or die. Eventually this person is going to come around and see how much leeway you've given them, see how much you love them, see how much you've been with them through thick and thin. And God forbid you have a child with a narcissistic person. They're going to try to use this to your advantage. And see, the problem with these narcissistic relationships is that not only because the narcissist has an empty void or empty hole because of their disorder and them not addressing the original issue or the original problem that caused them to accept this narcissistic personality disorder as a way of existing, to become a power-hungry taker, right? To become a fake person, not a real person. Because this person is like that and they behave that way towards you with such desperation, and they've become such master manipulators, what happens is the empathetic person, the person who is unaware that they're dealing with a narcissist who is maladaptive and never going to change, then becomes addicted to the narcissist. Now, how does this addiction happen? This addiction happens because, just like any normal person, where you put your investment is where you expect to get a return. And what happens with the narcissist over time is that they con you out of your hope, out of your investments, out of your energy, out of your time, out of your money, out of your favors. All the favor that you give them, it's natural to expect to one day be standing on a balanced ground where you two can agree on something. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll even behave in a way that has you believing that you might have tapped into them, that you may have got somewhere. But this is a manipulation tactic. And each time you break a boundary, so when I say break a boundary, let's say you say, you know what? If this person is late one more time and has me waiting somewhere and doesn't show up, it's over. Let's say you say that. And let's say you've already done that about 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And now when the narcissist shows up, the narcissist has a really good excuse, an airtight, sealed excuse. Because remember, they're really, really good at this. While they're also careless and make extreme mistakes that reveal who they are and make it very, very evident that you're dealing with a person who doesn't give a shit about you. Although they do that much of the time, they are also capable of creating excuses and reasons that are airtight. And they do this in between to keep you invested in them. And then what happens is then you form an addiction, because now you're personalizing what's going on between you and the narcissist, not understanding that if the narcissist had an opportunity to do this to somebody else, that's what the narcissist is going to be doing. The narcissist is an opportunist, and everyone who gives a narcissistic person leeway, free reign over their lives, will eventually become addicted to the narcissistic behavior. Why? Because they're never really getting what they want. Addiction is not a healthy way to relate to people. You shouldn't desperately be waiting for someone to change, desperately be waiting for someone to do something that they promised, because out of 10 promises, they only fulfill 1 and then keep you reeled in. No contact is the only way to rid yourself of that addiction and to finally get over a narcissist. You have to think of it as an addiction to overcome because of the imbalance in the relationship. It's almost like you're being taken over. And in the You Can't Hurt Me No More self-love kit for empaths who love too hard, I wrote a 77-page PDF that discusses in detail what this addiction is, how this addiction is not only psychological, emotional, physical, but it's also biological, and what happens over time when you keep allowing yourself to be disappointed and then rewarded and compensated by the person that's hurting you. So going no contact allows you to just literally get this person and all of these ideas and dreams and hopes that you have that the narcissistic person is playing on. Going no contact allows you to get that out of your system. It's definitely like a kind of sweated out thing, right? You literally, and if you can get some support and find someone who understands that you're addicted to this person, and not allow this person to have you feeling shame because of it. Someone who can help you, not call or not answer the phone call. Someone who can constantly give you a reality check. If you have to hire a coach or someone like me, or watching videos like these, you have to understand that no contact is the only way that you are going to be able to heal yourself and get yourself on a fair ground so that you can fight for you. Secondly, learning all you can about narcissism and how it manifests itself in the behavior and the relationship styles of people who exhibit NPD or who have this disorder or this style of being is extremely important, because the more you learn about it, you're able to compare what you learned to your own experience, and then it makes it real for you. It justifies your choices to say no to this person or these people or this organization. Remember, we live in a narcissistic structure. Even just the way things are designed, it makes life difficult for people. But once you are aware of it and you can put your finger on it and say, oh yeah, this is what this is, it helps you to feel more confident. That's why it's so important. When I was coming up, this information wasn't out there. I wasn't able to get on YouTube and find me a coach and find me a person who was actually being honest about these relationships, right? I grew up in a culture where people felt, there was a song, Betty Wright, and I discussed how horrible that was to teach young women that a little bit of love is worth a whole lot of pain. No, the fuck it's not.
But love is a flower that needs the sun and the rain. A little bit of pleasure's worth a whole lot of pain.
No, it's not. Becoming self-sufficient and understanding that first you have to love yourself before you can have someone love you, that's what's important. We don't need to be in pain or in difficult, dysfunctional relationships in order to have a little bit of love. That's one of the most outrageous statements and quotes I've ever heard in my life. When I think about it in hindsight, and when I was driving around at 18 years old singing this kind of song, these women were actually saying it's okay to be with abusers. It's okay to be with cheaters. That's a man. That's just who he is. But that's not true. There are good men out there that are not like that, that are actually disciplined, and good women out there that actually want to do right by you, that are looking to progress, but not narcissistic people. They're looking to keep you held back where they are psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually. Right? And so learning all you can is crucial. You can't stop the learning process. As long as you are alive, you should be learning. There is no end to learning. There's infinite information, and the information that we receive today may be different and expanded and heightened tomorrow. And that's why we should always be taking it in. It is the best way to heal. having a coach, having someone to hold you accountable, someone that you trust, someone who's compatible with you, someone who understands the complicated and complex characteristics of narcissistic relationships. And number 3 is accept that you have a choice, but that for right now, in this time, within space, for some reason, you're a target and narcissistic people are drawn to you. Now, this is on a deeper level what I go into in my course, but it's likely something on the subconscious level, because remember, we all have to do serious, at some point, serious long-term self-work, because we have to undo and untangle the programming from our early childhood. We have to establish our own self-worth based on our own experiences and our own belief systems that we've developed on our own without the influence of others. And then we have to develop strong boundaries based on previous experiences with these manipulative, tricky people. Because if narcissists are coming into your life, the universe is trying to tell you that there's another part of that there's a part of you, something inside of you that needs to be healed, that needs to be checked into. You need to find the mirror to the problem, because when you have a narcissist in your life that is bringing you toxicity and turmoil, it's because deep inside, this narcissist is mirroring something inside of you that has not yet been healed or dealt with, something that you don't know. And until that's fixed and corrected, and you develop the boundaries that you need based on the hurtful experiences that you had over your life, you will never be able to get these people away from you. Because remember, narcissists are attracted to people who are wounded. And this is something that I had to, a revelation that I had to deal with on my own. I was wounded without knowing I was wounded. I had scars and pain that I had pushed back because I didn't know how to deal with it. And though I had a big smile on my face and I appeared to be successful from the outside, the narcissistic devil was able to see these wounds. They tap into these wounds. They trick you and manipulate you and pretend to be your best friend or pretend to be your biggest supporter, when in actuality, they just want to steal your light and see if they can finish the job. See if they can kill you all away. Whatever happened in your childhood, they are there to finish the job, to make sure that you remain feeling unworthy, to make sure that you remain fractured and hurt, to make sure that you never create and develop and find your purpose. This is why they're there. This is why they work so hard to stay there, because they don't feel worthy. They don't believe in life. They don't believe in love. They don't believe in progress. They don't believe in creativity. And in those small instances when they appear that they do, they're taking it. They're not working for it. They're not going through the process. And so the only way that you can save yourself is to go no contact, to completely separate yourself. It does not matter. When you are dealing with a narcissist, you cannot follow the regular social rules, like the parent should always leave space for the other parent for the child. No. You can have a decent, cordial relationship with a narcissistic friend. No. And in my other videos, I tell you why. And so the first thing that you'll need to do, because everyone has the power to take care of themselves and lift themselves up, especially nowadays, technology has made that possible. Share your story, talk about your story, discuss it. But first and most important is you need to start writing your own story down, looking at it, reflecting it, because in that story, you're not only going to find your answers, you're going to find your pain, you're going to find the reason. Trust me, I know. And once you find the reason, it's extremely liberating. And then you can start making yourself healthy and loving yourself and illuminating your light and energy to attract the right people into your life. The narcissist will be repulsed by you. The narcissist will hate you. But most of all, the narcissist will fear you when you tap into that trauma and fix it and heal it and forgive yourself and anyone who may have hurt you and created that trauma in you. And eventually, at some point, the goal is to become the full, pure you. I hope you liked this video, and if you did like this video, prove it by hitting a thumbs up and pressing like. If you think someone else could benefit from this video, do share this video. And if you subscribe to my channel, thank you. I appreciate you. And if you haven't yet subscribed, you should subscribe now so you don't miss any videos or notifications for my videos. Be sure to check out the subscription box because I put links down there to take you over to the You Can't Hurt Me No More Self-Love Kit for Empaths Who Love Too Hard information page. And if you donated to my channel, thank you. If you like the support or donate to A Dream Life and Surviving Narcissistic Deception and the content that I create and the hours I spend creating, I would appreciate it. There's a link at the bottom. You can go to paypal.me/A Dream Life and send me a note. And whatever you like to send over. Everything always helps keeping me creating and bringing this information to you. And you can also book a call with me if you want to talk to me one-on-one. Love and light.